Ground to what? Pieces. Like you like your spirit should be like fucking coffee. Ground coffee.
Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned this truth from, and a shalom to all the brothers, the hopeful elect, taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the Israelites to the marriage supper of the Lamb. This is your brother Radah with a short lesson. This is this week's camp here in Atlanta, the Atlanta camp. I want to pull a few points out of the many points that were made this week off of what they're talking about. Right in this portion of the camp, the elders were getting into a contrite heart, being humble, having a really broken spirit before Yahawashi, likening the comely woman, which is the elect Israelite men and women, mainly the men, and having a humble spirit before Yahawashi, their king, and basically their husband. And I'm going to pull parallels out of society too, with precepts and stuff. But just listen to what they're saying.
Ground coffee. It's real. It has no real texture. No form. It has no form. It can't do anything on its own. It has to be moved from one place to another. It can't even roll like a coffee bean. Right. It has no form or texture or integrity. That's how the Lord ground in pieces. Yes. From guilt. That's the type of spirit the Lord is expecting all of us to be in.
Yeah, bro. We use the analogy of a wife. The Lord likens us unto a wife of His. Again, if your woman, scripture, we are the Lord's woman, and we fucked off behind the Lord. We committed adultery. We talked shit. We did a lot of bad things. Now liken that unto you and your woman. You're like, I ain't taking this bitch back. What kind of spirit do you want your woman to come to if you're thinking about taking her back? You want her to come with a completely humble. Really, I ain't do nothing wrong, and really, this that person. You want that spirit, or you want her to come? Gaslighting you, or you want her to come with that spirit, like on her knees? Hey, I'm sorry. Please, whatever. If you don't want to deal with me, I understand, but please, I'ma do it, bro. You want your woman to be broken towards you, or be built up and full of pride? Like that's how JB moving. Yeah. Simple analogies. Yeah. That's why the Lord gave us these analogies. I liken you unto a comely, beautiful woman. Right. I present thee as a chastened virgin. Yeah. All right. Matter of fact, can I get a precept? Yeah, please. Keep that Corinthians, because this is what the Apostle Paul said to this type of spirit that we're supposed to carry in this. You learn the Lord, like the elders saying, the spirit will expose shortcomings in yourself, weaknesses. That shit ain't supposed to make you. Right. Yeah. I gotta tell you, man, I cry on a regular. Fuck that.
Listen to this point. This is very key, man. I remember I was standing on the side. I was listening to him say that, and that touched me, man, because this is where we need to be at. This is where the Spirit is taking us. This is a very awesome place to be. I'm gonna hit it again. Watch. Let him Sodi sing.
Yeah, I ain't gotta hide that. Who the yard for me to feel bad about saying what my walk go through? That's right, bro. I cry on a regular. Fuck that. Yeah, I ain't gotta hide that. Who the yard for me to feel bad about saying what my walk go through? Right. Yeah. I gotta tell you, man, I cry on a regular. Fuck that. Yeah, I ain't gotta hide that. Who the yard for me to feel bad about saying what my walk go through? That's right, bro. I cry way more in this walk than I ever did in the world.
Well, the scriptures speak about a sorrowful heart. It's better to have a sorrowful heart or be in the house of mourning than be in the house of laughter.
That's Ecclesiastes chapter 7, like 1 through 4, I believe.
Was it sorrow maketh the heart heavy? Something like that. But sorrow, it has health benefits to it. Okay?
Now listen to the elder break this down. This is deep, man.
You ever let it out? You know, if you feel sorrowful about something, you let it out, and you know after a while you might get a little tired. You might get that good baby nap in. Then when you wake up, it's kind of like you feel better. It's like you feel better. Like you feel like it's a detox. It's like a detox, like a reset. Okay. there's a scientifically proven that tears of joy and tears of sorrow are two different chemicals that's released from your brain.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not the same tears.
Yeah,
it's different hormones in sorrowful tears and tears of joy. They tested it. I think that the tears of sorrow are more salty, more bitter. Yeah. And tears of joy, it's like it has like a sweeter, less dense, or less harsh taste to it. So sorrow is healthy for the spirit. So if you're just walking around on a pompous vibration as if you've done nothing wrong, you don't study, you don't read, okay? You talking shit, you scoffing, you mocking the prophets, right? Okay? Well, eventually all of it's gonna catch up with you.
And that's just like the proud woman of America that we see today. So now I'm going to go into a precept. Some precepts. Look at this. Oh, there's another portion of this. I got to get this. Earlier, the other elder, he makes a point. Let me see if I can find that really quick. Let me stop the recording. I got to find, because it absolutely matches this portion of the lesson. It matches, of the camp. I'll be right back. Salaki, hold on. Okay, I found it. This is the other portion that leads up to what I caught towards the end of the lesson. This is the part that I wanted to show real quick.
Do you want your woman to not need you? Lord's brides. And I've talked about this before. Man, in the flesh, he was an offering for ourselves. That's like, here it is, we're the Lord's brides, we're the Lord's brides.
We are likened as a comely woman in the scriptures. And Yahawashi, not only is he our elder brother, our most beloved elder brother, king, and savior, he is also our husband. We got to understand this. Now listen what he says.
And I've talked about this before. Everybody's got a woman, right? Do you want your woman to not need you? That's a weird relationship, right? Your woman don't need you. She protect herself. She got her own gun. She got her own money. She don't need you. That's a weird place, right? Why would the same with Yahawashi? Right. He wants us to need him. Right.
Okay, I missed this part. Me and a brother were looking for a place to park, and we were looking for the camp. And I was informed of where the camp was located, but I hadn't read the text message yet. So we were walking to camp, but we couldn't find it. So I missed this part. I didn't get this part until I came home and re-listened to camp, because the portion of camp that I was able to catch was so fire. I told myself, man, save this particular camp, and when you get home tonight, re-listen to it. So when I re-listened to it, and the elder said this part, the top of my head blew off, because I thought about every single woman I've seen on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and for I don't know how long say, I don't need a man. And with all the other precepts and understanding of prophecy and our own past adulteries and understanding that we are the wife of the Most High as the Hebrew Israelites, as a nation, I was like, oh my fucking God, this is the same shit that we did when we said we have no king but Caesar. When we rejected Yahawashi, when he was standing in front of us, when the Roman soldiers, the Edomite Roman soldiers, beat him into a pulp, and he had the crown of thorns on his head, and he's standing in front of us, and we're saying, away with him, and the dude, what's his name, Pilate, is saying, shall I crucify your king? What do we say? We have no king but Caesar. I want to pull that precept. We don't need a man. And why does Eve and the Edomite women, why are women so proud and against their men today? Because Esau has created a system, Caesar, the Pharaoh, King Pharaoh, that they can trust in. That has become their man. The education, the provisions, the teats, the government grants, educations, all this stuff, where women can synthetically replace men with the system of their education and their provisions and all the laws that are written for them, all this power that's been given to them that is unbiblical. It's a curse, and it lines up with prophecy. Behold, I do a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. Why? Because we wouldn't repent as the daughter of Zion. If you read that whole precepts, it addresses us as it addresses the men as the daughter of Zion. Then it says, I'm going to punish you by allowing women to compass you. That's a war term. To surround you, to overcome you. And in society, you can't be a masculine man and not get accused. And a woman can cheat on you and she can be elevated above you, and you can't do shit because the laws protect her. Anyways, not to get off on that tangent, but when the elders said this, I was like, oh my gosh. So now the Spirit is giving me a lesson. I just rambled a little bit. Let me let him say what he said again. I'm going to pull the precepts and then we're going to be done.
That's how serious it is. So for you, that's like, here it is, we're the Lord's brides. We're the Lord's brides. And I've talked about this before. Everybody's got a woman, right? Do you want your woman to not need you? That's a weird relationship, right? Your woman don't need you. She protect herself. She got her own gun. She got her own money. She don't need you. That's a weird place, right? Why would the same with Yahawashi? Right. He wants us to need him. Right. That's how serious it is. So when you come into this energy of like, man, really, I don't see it. That's crazy. Yeah. Yahawashi cut the Sadducee, the Pharisee when he spoke about the physician. Yeah. He's like, why the hell do I need to come to y'all if y'all are hoes? I come to one of them hoes. Yeah. See. You know what I'm saying? So it's right.
Man, absolute fire. Let's get some precepts and we'll be done. But yeah, when I came back and I heard that, I was taking photos of the timing of the video to try to find that, and I found it. Let me delete these. Let me get these precepts though. So look, so we find in the story of John, the Gospel of John. So let me see. Hold up, right here, I believe. Let me see. Okay, she said unto him, "Yeah, Lord, I believe." Okay, so this is the story of Lazarus being raised from the dead. It's connected because Mary is a sister of Lazarus, and she's a sister of Martha. But Mary is first mentioned. Hold on. Okay, got that one. Hold up. Mary is first mentioned. So that's also the story of Lazarus being resurrected. Hold on, because I was getting all that. It was all coming into my spirit today, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be the lesson. So here I believe this is it. Luke 7. This is when Mary is first mentioned, and she's connected. We don't know yet, but in the story, this is when she first comes to Yahawashi, and she's connected to her brother and sister later with Yahawashi. But look at this. This is Luke 7. And one of the Pharisees desired him, that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city. This is Mary. This is Lazarus' sister, but this is her introduction into the story. Look at this, man. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Yahawashi sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, she brought an alabaster box of ointment and stood at his feet behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears. This is key. They were just talking about tears and the different types of chemistry that takes place in the body depending on how you're weeping. Talked about a contrite heart and being broken before Yahawashi. And here we see this woman. She's real. She's an example to real Israelite women today. And she is a type and shadow of the elect men. How the Spirit is going to work in the elect men to bring them to this place in their lives where they are virgins and they are like this woman with Yahawashi. She stood at his feet behind him weeping and began to wash his feet and with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet and anointed them with the ointment. Now when the Pharisees which had bidden him saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known what manner of woman this is that touches him, for she's a sinner. Yahawashi answered, he knew his thoughts, and said unto him, Simon. Now he's speaking to Simon. And we know who Peter is in the reincarnation, right? It's King Dawada. I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he saith, Master, say on. And Peter, you guys, man, Peter is he's the head apostle. If you notice, he's going to use Peter as a punching bag, not abusively, but he's publicly going to use Peter as a punching bag to get his point home. And Peter doesn't get an attitude. This is you see this throughout all the scriptures with Peter. Yahawashi was always using him, and Peter, bro, would allow it. Wouldn't catch an attitude, man, because Peter is humble and he teaches on humility. And Yahawashi answered and said to him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he saith, Master, say on. And so Yahawashi goes into the story. There was a certain creditor which had 2 debtors, the one that owed 5 and 100 pence, and the other 50. And then they had nothing to pay. He frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. And now Yahawashi switches to the woman. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet. Now, this is not talking about Peter, even though he's using Peter as an example, because Peter is also this woman. But he's using Peter as an example, as he's using the woman as an example to the other men who are sitting at the table and to anybody who would read this story in the future. You got to see this, man. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman, since the time I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much, but to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And Peter didn't start justifying himself. He always moved in sync with Yahawashi. Why? Because Peter too is like this woman, and this woman is a type and shadow of the hopeful elect. And the 2/3 are the 1/3 multitude that will believe the truth through them. It's all connected. We go here. Look at this. This is now John 12. This is later in the story. Then Yahawashi, 6 days before the Passover came to Bethany, was Lazarus. Okay, hold up. I got to go back. This also, now this one right here, this is when Yahawashi raises Lazarus from the dead, right? So right here in Luke 7, Yahawashi meets Mary. It doesn't stop here with him and her. I didn't know. I wasn't all the way. I wasn't. And when the Spirit brought this study to me as a Christian, I was never sure of who was who. I knew there was multiple Marys and women, all this. I knew it was something. But today, the Spirit brought it all together, as He's been doing with everything else in the Spirit, in this truth. So this is 7. Luke 7 is Yahawashi's introduction and Mary's introduction to Yahawashi. He develops a friendship with her whole family from this point on, and we see it here. So you see, what is this? This is now John 11. Now a certain man was sick. It's Lazarus, named Lazarus, of Bethany, the town of Mary. Mary is the girl in Luke 7, and her sister Martha. And we know about the story where Mary's sitting down at Yahawashi's feet, Martha's cooking. You see, from that point on, Yahawashi was always kicking it with this family if he wasn't with Peter, James, and John, or the other 12 disciples, or the other 9 disciples. These were the people groups. He ministered to the whole nation of Israel, you guys, all the time with the disciples. Then he broke off by just with James, John, and Peter. And if he wasn't with James, John, and Peter, or the other 9, he was here with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus, always chilling, teaching, eating. Very close. Bethany, the town of Mary, and her sister Martha. It was the Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment when he was speaking to Peter and making Peter and her an example to the other men, and a good one, and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. So that first encounter, that humble, tearful, salted with fire, a public display of humility and confession, turned into a friendship that continues to go from glory to glory to glory. Watch what happens. It was the Mary which anointed the Lord with ointment and wiped his feet with her hair, whose brother Lazarus was sick. Therefore his sister sent unto him, saying, Lord, behold, he whom thou lovest is sick. When Yahawashi heard it, he said, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God might be glorified. Verse 4, now you got to condense this or spread it to the 4 corners of the earth. When we would be scattered, when we would discontinue from our heritage because of our past adulteries, and the blood that Yahawashi would shed on that cross later when it was finished, when our punishment was finished, mentioned in Ezekiel 37 is the resurrection, but Lamentations 4, now I got to pull it up to prove, so that people don't just think now I got to prove it. So look, so Lamentations, I'm like, holy crap right now. So verse 4 in that story is this. You got to see this. This is us falling sick and then coming out of it. Lamentations 4:21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Look, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. That's the woman. This is the woman, the man who fell sick. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. The curses, slavery, not knowing who we were, dead. We were dead in sins. He will visit thine iniquity. We died and we were sick with sin and transgression, and then we died. And now we need Yahawashi to resurrect us. That's what all this is encompassing. He will visit thine iniquities, daughter. He will carry thee and no more. You will no longer die in your sins. Why? Because he's going to make a new covenant with us through the blood of Yahawashi. He's going to write the commandments and the laws in our heart, and then we won't sin, we won't get sick, and we won't die. Leprosy. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. That's this in verse 4, bro, condensed. When Yahawashi heard that, he said, this sickness is not unto death. Now, keep going to watch. But for the glory of God, what? That the Son of God might be glorified. Why? Because he's going to save Israel through all of this, through Yahawashi. Now, Yahawashi loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Look at this. This is the elect. We do sin. We will sin. We got to be punished for our sin. We end up discontinuing from our heritage. We don't even know who we are. We completely die like Lazarus is going to die. Watch. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, we're in sin, we're transgressing, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was. Then what happens? When you sin, what happens? It brings forth death. Can you guys see it? I know you can see it. Then after that, saith he to the disciples, let us go unto Judea again. His disciples say unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goeth thou thither again? Yahawashi answered, are there 12 days an hour? Boom, boom, boom. Let me see. So this is verse 9. But if a man walk in the night, he stumbleth, because there is no light in his. Verse 10. Verse 11. These things said he, and after that he saith unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep. So now he's dead. Verse 12. Then the disciples said, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well. Howbeit, Yahawashi spake of his death. But they thought that he had spoken of taking up rest and sleep. Then said Yahawashi unto them plainly, Lazarus is dead. So now we are dead in the future, right? Ezekiel 37, Revelation chapter 11:11. A lot of time has passed. Yahawashi comes and the wind blows and we come back to life. That is what all of this is encompassing, right? Let me see. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them. Okay, hold on. Okay, verse 15. And I am glad for your sakes that I was not there, to the intent ye may believe. Nevertheless, let us go unto him. Then said Thomas, which is called Didymus, unto his followers, let us go also, that we may die unto him. So people calling Thomas, doubting Thomas, that this is the balance. He wasn't doubting, because right here he's got faith. Then when Yahawashi came, he found that he had lain in the grave 4 days already. Now Bethany was nigh unto Jerusalem, about 15 furlongs off. Let me see, verse 19. And many of the Jews came to Martha and Mary to comfort them concerning their brother. Then Martha, as soon as she heard that Yahawashi was come, went and met him. But Mary, now look at this. Now Mary, she's the same girl that approached Yahawashi earlier, days, months earlier, and wept in front of everybody before him, right? The contrite heart. But Mary sat still in the house. Now this is not her having an attitude. She's being respectful. She's going from glory to glory. Then said Martha unto Yahawashi, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. So they all have faith in him. They know he's more than a man, or that he's the one that was promised. But I know that even now, whatsoever thou wilt ask of God, God will give it thee. Yahawashi said unto her, thy brother shall rise again. Martha said unto him, I know that he shall rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Yahawashi said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believest thou this? She saith to them, Yea, Lord, I believe that thou art the Hamashiach, the Son of the Power, the Most High, which should come in the world. And when she had said this, she went her way and called Mary her sister secretly, saying, the Master is come and calleth for thee. This is all connected to the resurrection in these last days of the elect. With what's happening, we are being called. The Master is calling us. It's Mary. It's all connected. Lazarus, Peter, Mary, Martha, they got their individuality, but they all are types and shadows of the hopeful elect. The elect multitude, the 144, Yahawashi doing all this. As soon as she heard this, she respectfully waited until he called her. And then look at her response. She arose quickly. She did not have the attitude of, I don't need a man. She did not have the attitude of, Caesar is my king. We have no king but Caesar. The minute she hears the command, the minute she hears the trumpet, he wants you, he's calling for you, boom, she's running towards him and came unto him. Let me see this verse 13. Okay, now 30. Look at now. Yahawashi was not yet come into the town, but was in the place where Martha met him. The Jews then, which were with her, talking about Mary, in the house, and comforted her, when they saw Mary, that she rose up hastily. See, she's quickly responding to Yahawashi and went out, but they don't know why. They kind of guess, but they don't know why. Followed her, saying, she goeth into the grave to weep there. Then when Mary saw. Then Mary went, look at this. Then when Mary was come where Yahawashi was, look what she does. She saw him. She falls down at his feet again. This is the second time this is recorded where she's at his feet. She's the third time. She's always at his feet. She's at his feet when she's confessing her sins. She's at his feet when he's teaching at their house. And she's at his feet now when her brother dies. We got to get this, man. We are likened as a comely woman, saying unto him, Lord, if thou hadst been here, my brother had not died. And this also goes to the women of Yasharallah, the elect women, the Akwath, who listen to this truth. This is also applied to you. This isn't just about the men. It's also this, because this is an actual girl, but she's also a type and shadow of the church. When Yahawashi therefore saw her weeping, look at this. Now what? Just like he saw her weeping at his feet, she saw her weeping at his feet at that dinner table when she was a quote-unquote sinner, and he sees her weeping now with something that he understands. Amos chapter 3, how can two walk together lest they be agreed? She understands she hurts for the same thing he hurts for. When Yahawashi therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit, and was troubled. Ooh, and said, where have you laid him? And I could never understood why this upset him, if he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead within a couple of seconds. I could never understand this as a Christian, because this goes into multiple things. This goes into him knowing what was going to happen to us in the future, and this goes all the way back to the first Adam. When the first Adam sinned, that was him. And when Yada Yaja, the beloved of Yahweh, the son of King David, King Solomon, transgressed, that's also him. Dude, this Yahawashi is feeling this from so many angles. I could never understood why he was weeping right when he was about to raise Lazarus from the dead. That's why. It's what it all encompasses. And said, where have ye laid him? They said unto him, Lord, come and see. Yahawashi wept. Then said the Jews, behold how he loved him. And said to them, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died? Yahawashi therefore again groaning in himself cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Now look at this. Yahawashi said, take ye away the stone. This is our resurrection, right? Martha, the sister of him, then look at this, said, the sister of him that was dead said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinks, for he has been dead 4 days. Now what is death in the precepts, spiritually? A lack of understanding, right? If those who come out from us, those who wander away from the congregation or in the congregation of the dead, those who wander away from, now I gotta pull it, hold on. The congregation of the dead. The congregation. Look at this. The congregation of the dead. Of the dead. Let's see if that pulls it up. Those who wander. The man that. Okay. See it? Proverbs 21:16. The man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. Okay? So we understand that a lack of understanding is spiritual death, right? So this goes into the name and the correct doctrine. This goes into the 100% truth and the correct names. If Yahawashi is the resurrection, he is dead. And this is not just talking about physical resurrection. It's talking about spiritual resurrection, because spiritual death is true. Then that means spiritual stench. Just like physical stench is connected to physical death, spiritual stench is connected to spiritual lack of understanding. Yahawashi said that ye may take ye away the stone, Martha, the sister of him that was dead, saith unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh, for he hath been dead 4 days. Yahawashi said unto her, said I not unto thee? Look at this. Not only physically, but spiritually, said I not unto thee that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of the power? Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahawashi calls the elect out of every place in the 4 corners of the earth where they are stuck, whether it be Christianity, Scientology, Islam, doesn't matter. Hip-hop, it doesn't matter. And you're going to get the 100% truth. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And Yahawashi lifted up his eyes and said, Father, so he's addressing Yahweh. I thank thee that thou hast heard me, and I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. Elect, come forth. And he that was dead, and the elect members of Yasharallah that were dead, they came forth, and now they're alive, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound up with a napkin. And what does Yahawashi do? He said that loose him and let him go. Get all that stuff off of us. get all that misunderstanding, get all that ignorance, get all that residue of spiritual death, not knowing the true name of Yahweh, not knowing the true name of Yahawashi, not knowing who Esau is, not understanding reincarnation and how judgment works under the place of the sun, that there is no burning in hell, that slavery is a method of judgment. All of it. Understanding the 100% truth. This is Ezekiel 37. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and seeing the things which Yahawashi did believed on him, and some of them went to their ways to the Pharisees. Now this is your 2/3, your sellouts. This is Nate, dude. This is IUIC. This is Sakari, man. These are the guys doing, and this is your hip hop. This is your hip hop and your politicians and your Christian, your so-called black and Latino Christian pastors that are all 501c3'd up and connected to Esau. They're going back. This is your vocab Malone. They're going back and telling them about us. Look, and told them what things Yahawashi had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees and council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. And they're worried about the money. And then later it says that they want to kill Lazarus because everybody's believing on Yahawashi because of Lazarus. And we are a type and shadow of Lazarus. I just wanted to show that the woman... Oh, wait, there's one more. Hold up. Oh, my gosh, I almost forgot it, man. Damn. Over here too excited because I'm trying to make this lesson short. Now in verse 12, now look at this. Remember... in verse 7, in chapter 7 of Luke, Mary is introduced to Yahawashi through a humble breaking and contriteness of heart. She is known as a sinner in the city, and she is weeping at his feet with salt and tears, and wiping his feet, and she anoints him, right? And then when Lazarus, her brother, dies, she is also weeping at his feet. We also know that before this situation, when Yahawashi was having dinner with them, she was sitting at his feet, right? You see all the changing from glory to glory for the comely woman? Goes to all of us. This fragrance is developed first from the contrite heart. You have to have the broken, humble, contrite spirit going into what this brother was saying right here.
Sick. You know what I'm saying? So it's right. We're sick. So you gotta acknowledge that, all right? I know y'all, you got something. I know y'all. Come to y'all are right. You know, she got her own money. She got a relationship, right? Your woman don't need you. She's a woman, right? Do you want your woman to not need you? That's a weird relationship, right? Your woman don't need you. She, you know, she protect herself. She got her own gun. You know, she got her own money. She don't need you.
See? And so you see here, Mary needs Yahawashi. And it never stops. It starts off with her weeping at his feet in Luke 7. All right? Look at this, man. Look at the beauty in needing Yahawashi, bro. Look what happens, bro. Come on, this story is beautiful, man. I don't want to get all emotional right now, but let's look at this, man. Luke 7, bro. She publicly comes in front of all these men to bow down to the man, the most alpha male, the top male of all males. She's willing to humiliate herself in front of these men to get to the man. And this is real, bro. And she bows down and she weeps. And what does Yahawashi do? He makes an amazing example out of her, becomes her friend, and you see it here. She knows who he is now. She's waiting for him to call her in this emotional, very grievous moment. She's not gonna overwhelm him, but she's got a real tangible relationship with him. And when he's done addressing everybody else, he requests her in verse 39. Yahawashi said, wait, my bad. In verse 29 of I don't even, dang, so I'm missing the chapter, Salakia. But you see right here, as soon as she heard it, she rose quickly and came unto him. So you see all of the etiquette, all of the behavior that's taking place inside this woman with her relationship with Yahawashi. And then look at this one. So it keeps going, and this is going to be the end of the lesson. Then Yahawashi, 6 days before, nope, that's the wrong one, my bad. Hold on. Actually, no, that was it. So then Yahawashi, this is verse 12 of John. Then Yahawashi, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus was dead, or had been dead, whom he raised from the dead. There they made him a supper, and Martha served, and Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him. Then took Mary. She's going to do it again. I didn't know this today, so you can tell by me, I'm kind of fumbling the precepts right now. I don't care. This all came into me today, and I'm doing it so I don't forget it. But I was like, wait a minute, it's the same girl. She anointed him and wept on him when she met him. She's been at his feet. Every encounter she's recorded as being with him. She weeps when her brother dies at his feet. He weeps when she weeps, right? They got this dynamic going. So now her brother's alive. Celebration, right? You think she would go sit down next to her brother, and she did probably later, and eat with him, right? No. Look what she does. Look what Mary does. Then there made him a supper, and Martha served, but Lazarus was one of them that sat at the table with him. Then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Yahawashi. Now she's not crying tears of sorrow, shame, and regret, which are good ones when you do it to Yahawashi. I'm sure she probably did weep right now. This is different, you guys. She's comfortable with his feet now because she's been going there on occasion from time to time. She keeps going to his feet, you guys. You got to see this. Verse 3, then took Mary a pound of ointment of spikenard, very costly, and anointed the feet of Yahawashi, and wiped his feet with her hair. She's doing it again. And the house was filled with the odor of the ointment. Then saith one of his disciples, Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, which would betray him, why was not this ointment sold for 300 pence and given to the poor? This he did, not that he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, and had the bag and bare what was put in it. Then Yahawashi said, let her alone. Against the day of my burying hath she done this. You guys, going into what they were talking about, what the elders were speaking about in the camp.
You know, she got her own money. She don't need you. That's a weird place, right? Why would the same with Yahawashi? Right. He wants us to need him. Right. That's how serious it is. So when you come into this energy of like, man, really, I don't see it. That's crazy. Yeah. Yahawashi cut the Sadducees and Pharisees when he spoke about the physician. Yeah. He's like, why the hell do I need to come to y'all if y'all are holy? I come to them holy. Yeah. See. You know what I'm saying? So
now I got to fast forward to where the other elder, okay, right here.
That's what we do. All right. If it does come out.
You niggas gonna get one up on you. Just let me do it for you. It has no real texture. It has no form. It can't.
This is it right here.
It can't do anything on its own. It has to be moved from one place to another. It can't even roll like a coffee bean. Right. It has no form or texture or integrity. That's how the Lord ground in pieces. Yes. From guilt. That's the type of spirit the Lord is.
And that's where Mary is in the 7th chapter of Luke, I believe it is. That's how she starts off with Yahawashi. She starts off in this contrite, broken, humble, confessing, admitting sin position on her face at the feet of Yahawashi in front of his disciples, his apostles, and those other men at the table. And then you see the growth of that relationship. You see Yahawashi at their house later having dinner. And where's Mary? At his feet. While Martha is getting dinner prepared. Then again, as Yahawashi is off with his disciples, Martha and Mary send word to Yahawashi, hey, Lazarus is sick, man, come on. Now they're making requests they're making personal requests while he's look at this. This just came to me. Remember when Yahawashi was ministering somewhere, and some Greeks, some of the Hellenized Jews wanted to come see him, and he said, who is my family? My mother, who's my mother, my father? Or no, when his family came to see them, and he said, who is my family? Those who do the will of my Father? Well, here Martha and Mary are making a request, and Yahawashi just waits 2 days. But he doesn't deny the request. He turns around and goes back to them. Why? Because of this relationship that he had with them. You see the difference? And then you see Mary again. She waits for him to call her. She bows down to his feet. She's crying. He tells her, I'm the resurrection. He raises her brother from the dead. And then now they're having dinner because he raised her brother from the dead. And what is Mary about to do? Or what does Mary do? She pours ointment on him. She goes from different types of tears. She goes from sorrowful tears to rejoicing tears, but salt is coming out of her. And I got to pull that precept. I just remembered. But I'm gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna pull that precept.
Expecting all of us to be in. Bro.
We use the analogy of a wife. The Lord likens us unto a wife of His. Again, if your woman, we are the Lord's woman, and we fucked off behind the Lord. We committed adultery. We talk shit. We did a lot of bad things. Now liken that unto you and your woman. You like, I ain't taking this bitch back. What kind of spirit do you want your woman to come to if you're thinking about taking her back? You want her to come with a completely humble. Really, I ain't do nothing wrong, and really, it's this person, it's that person. You want that spirit, or you want her to come? Gaslighting you, or you want her to come with that spirit like on her knees? Hey, I'm sorry. Please, whatever. If you don't want to deal with me, I understand, but please, I'ma do it. Bro. You want your woman to be broken towards you, or be built up and full of pride like? That's how JB moving. Yeah. Simple analogies. Yeah. That's why the Lord gave us these analogies. I liken you unto a comely, beautiful woman. Right. I present thee as a chastened virgin. Yeah. All right. Can I get a precept? Yeah, please. Give me Corinthians, because this is what the Apostle Paul said. Man, you start to feel. Shit. I cry on a regular. Fuck that. Yeah. I ain't gotta hide that. What are you for me to feel bad about saying what my walk go through? That's right, bro. I cry way more in this walk than I ever did in the world.
Well, the scriptures speak about a sorrowful heart. It's better to have a sorrowful heart, or be in the house of mourning than be in the house of laughter. Was it sorrow maketh the heart heavy? Something like that. But sorrow, it has health benefits to it. Okay? You ever let it out? You know, if you feel sorrowful about something, you let it out, and you know after a while you might get a little tired. You might get that good baby nap in. Then when you wake up, it's kind of like you feel better. It's like you feel better. Like you feel like a detox. It's like a detox, like a reset. Okay? Because there's different. I'm gonna hit y'all with this. Because of that. There's a scientifically proven that tears of joy and tears of sorrow are two different chemicals that's released from your brain. Yeah. It's not the same tears. Yeah. It's different hormones in sorrowful tears and tears of joy. They test.
And in tears, and in salt, in tears, sweat, and blood, sweat, and tears, all three of those have salt in them. Those are the three liquid forms, or forms that salt comes out of the body: blood, sweat, and tears. And look at this precept. We're gonna get it, and we're gonna be done. This precept says this. It's in Leviticus. Leviticus 2:13. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy power to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And that's in your tears. It's in your labor, which is your sweat, and it's in your blood. That's your sacrifice. Living sacrifices, and then actual martyrdom is salt, you guys. And I'm going to end it with this. Psalms 34:18. Yahweh is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as become of a contrite spirit. And Yahawashi said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father. And we saw what Yahawashi did with Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Especially Mary, which is really a type and shadow of all of us, or we hope to be. I hope this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahawashi, Bahashem Rakakodash. And I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopeful elect brothers taking this truth to the four corners of the earth. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.